The lyrics, from what we have seen from Bad Bunny, are very disturbing. You know, I don't speak fluent Spanish, okay? I know how to ask where the bathroom is, but these lyrics, if it is true what was said on national television, we have a lot of questions for the entities that broadcast this. And we'll be talking with Brendan Carr from the SEC about this. This could be much worse than the Janet Jackson wardrobe malfunction. Let's put it that way.
But we saw a boobie. Like, we saw an actual boobie on television during the Janet Jackson debacle. And honestly, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at boobies. I don't think it's the end of the world. But like, we're opening an investigation into Bad Bunny's lyrics. Are we serious right now? Seems like this one Republican is. So turns out some Republicans are so up in arms about the Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime performance that they are literally demanding investigations. And it's not an exaggeration, as you just saw from that video. So you just heard from Representative Mark Alford. He's saying that, you know, he intends to speak with the FCC chair, the Federal Communications Commission chair, Brendan Carr, about whether rules were broken, okay? There was too much fun on that stage. Rules were broken. And of course, it has to do with the type of language that the FCC still regulates, which is, everything just seems like a joke to me. You guys write in and let me know what you think, right? Because now that it is just abundantly clear that government is littered with either pedophiles or individuals who are happy to provide cover for pedophiles, the idea that we have a government agency regulating whether or not you can use the shortened version of the name Richard, but to, you know, respond to someone's Johnson instead, whether or not that's okay to use on television is just hilarious to me. I mean, it's so sweet compared to the real monsters that we're dealing with in this country and around the world. But nonetheless, Representative Andy Ogles of Tennessee was particularly incensed about this performance, which was the second most watched halftime show in Super Bowl history. Let me give you a little taste of what he has to say about this. He writes, "Last night's halftime show was a disgrace, and it mocked American families, depicting gay pornography on prime time has no place in our culture." Gay pornography. Now, obviously, there's a community note there that says that there was no gay porn during this halftime show. He might be referring to two men embracing each other at one point, but it was like a quick flash on the screen. Interesting that that's what stood out the most to Representative Ogles or Ogles. Is it Ogles or Ogles? I don't know. Who cares? The Bad Bunny performance is conclusive proof that Puerto Rico should never be a state. Then how about we let them go? How about we let them be their own country? How about we give them freedom rather than have them serve as a colony to the United States that doesn't have the exact same rights that we do here in mainland US? I don't know. I mean, I would be happy to do that. Now, the question is our Congress willing to do that? Is our government willing to do that? I would venture to say no, it's unlikely. And now he's demanding an investigation as well. The Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show was pure smut, brazenly aired on national television for every American family to witness. Children were forced to endure explicit displays of gay sexual acts, women gyrating provocatively, and Bad Bunny shamelessly grabbing his crotch while tri-humping the air. Honestly, Representative, I think that your post is inappropriate. It's a little too descriptive. This seems a little bit obscene. What are the kids gonna think? Anyway, he continues, and if that wasn't outrageous enough, the performance's lyrics openly glorified sodomy and countless other unspeakable depravities. I thought you guys, first of all, didn't understand anything he was saying because he was singing in Spanish. I don't know if he was singing about sodomy or not. The fact that you guys are hyper-focused on this, though, really fascinating. That is why I am requesting that the Energy and Commerce Committee launch a formal congressional inquiry into the National Football League and NBC immediately. The federal government is littered with pedophiles and people who provided cover for a pedophile ring headed by Jeffrey Epstein. How about you investigate that, you piece of crap? And by the way, after watching the House Judiciary hearing involving Attorney General Pam Bondi today and how she evaded questions, and more importantly, how Republicans couldn't be bothered to ask actual questions about Epstein and instead focused on anything else. They used the hearing to detract, to take away from what should be a comprehensive investigation into Epstein and his co-conspirators. And now you have this Republican talking about tapping the Energy and Commerce Committee to launch a formal congressional inquiry into the NFL and NBC. Okay. Brian Krasenstein, who, he's fine, whatever. He responded to that. I liked his response. I'll say that. He says, girls twerking, smut. Billionaires trafficking 12-year-olds for sex, look the other way. Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's the vibe right now when it comes to some of our politicians. Now, the congressman sent a letter to fellow Republican Representative Brett Guthrie. He's the chair of the House Energy and Commerce. I can't believe he's going through with this. So he sends this letter to the chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee, okay, in which he specifically cited two of Bad Bunny's songs by name, Zafaera and Yo Pero Sola. Okay, so the congressman argued that the sexual content would be readily apparent across any language barrier. Okay, then why were you Republicans complaining about how you couldn't understand what he was singing about? Anyway, he says this: the language barrier did not mitigate the explicit nature of the material, rather it heightened the broadcaster's obligation to exercise reasonable diligence in reviewing, translating, and evaluating the content prior to airing. Okay. Randy Fine even weighed in on this. Randy Fine, haven't heard too much from him about the Epstein files, but he did want to weigh in on Bad Bunny because, that's a real priority here. He says, you can't say the F word on live TV. Bad Bunny's disgusting halftime show was illegal. Had he said these lyrics and all of the other disgusting and pornographic filth in English on live TV, the broadcast would have been pulled down and fines would have been enormous.
This will be fun. Let's talk about first dates. We've all been there. You're trying to figure someone out, so you ask the important stuff up front. What are you looking for? What are your deal breakers? You get right to the point to see if they're the right person for you. Well, the same goes if you're hiring. You definitely want to address key questions first to see if someone could be right for your role. That's why you need ZipRecruiter. When you post your job, ZipRecruiter suggests screening questions to help you identify top candidates faster. And today you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. Their matching technology immediately starts finding qualified people who actually check all your boxes. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site. Ask key questions and hire faster with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. That's ZipRecruiter.com/TYT. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Puerto Ricans and Americans, and we all live by the same rules. We are sending Brendan Carr from the FCC, of course, a letter calling for dramatic action. I literally can't believe they're doing this. Like this, I can't believe it because it's embarrassing for them. But apparently they like to embarrass themselves on a regular basis. So he attached the English translation of some of Bad Bunny's songs, many lines of which Bad Bunny didn't even perform. They might be lyrics in his songs, but he didn't actually perform those lyrics during the Super Bowl halftime show. So he also never said the F word. And besides which, are we 5? Are we 5? Can the FCC please just do away with these regulations to begin with? Like, let's actually recognize this country for what it is. It is a country governed by pedophiles or pedophile protectors. And we're gonna make a national case over the F word that wasn't even sung during the halftime show. Anyway, now we're gonna have this fun moment where I'm gonna read lyrics from Bad Bunny's halftime show. Okay, so this is from Zafaera. He says, My D is being chased and I want you to. Okay. All right. I'm being a child, I know. My D is being chased and I want you to hide it. Grab it like a bunga. She took a pill that made her horny. She F's in the Audi, not in the Honda. Okay. All right. Wow, I'm so scandalized. But the most explicit lyrics were actually bleeped, or Bad Bunny skipped over them entirely. And so nonetheless, Fine ended up sending to Brendan Carr, that letter demanding accountability. And it is worth noting that the headline performer at the Turning Point USA event, the one to give everybody an alternative if they don't want to watch Bad Bunny, the all-American halftime show as they called it. Well, that was Kid Rock, right? And apparently he's known for songs such as Cool Daddy Cool, which features the lines, and I quote, young ladies, I like them underage. See? Some say that's statutory, but I say it's mandatory. Well, look, to be fair to the Republicans who are bitching about Bad Bunny's lyrics while saying nothing about the pedophilic lyrics in Kid Rock's music, at least they're consistent. And disgusting. And look, to be fair to Kid Rock, he didn't perform that song during the halftime show, but he did perform, his popular song, Bawita Baba or whatever it is. So it includes a verse that shouts out topless dancers and hookers in Hollywood. So let's just be fair. If you have a problem with the smut that you allegedly heard from Bad Bunny, what about the smut you hear from Kid Rock? The truth of the case is they don't really care about these lyrics. And they want to give us all the illusion of doing their jobs, of governing the country. And in their minds, engaging in senseless, annoying, and honestly, frustrating culture wars that don't actually do anything for the American people. That's their bread and butter. Lawmakers, and I mean lawmakers in general on both sides of the aisle, would be happy to go right back to the manufactured culture wars that cause everyone else to fight. It was a halftime show performance. We fight about it every single year without fail. At what point are Americans going to stand up and say, I don't care. I didn't like it. I just turned off the TV, or I went and grabbed another plate of nachos and I moved on with my life like an adult. Let's be adults. And you know what adults would do in the face of these types of politicians who want nothing more than to engage in these ridiculous culture wars? Give them the middle finger and tell them to actually do their jobs, or they'll be voted out of office. That's the correct response to all of this.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.